Time to give it to ya. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening, good people? Happy Juneteenth. It's the celebration that's going around the nation. Everybody's off today. The sun is shining probably in most states around the United States. And everybody is just really starting to embrace and get a full understanding of what Juneteenth is all about, particularly those of us who are not from Texas. So Texas is like, really, Negroes? Yeah, so Texas, they've been doing this for quite some time, but the rest of the nation has just started to pick up on it. I believe South Carolina, I think I first heard about it. I was in college when I first heard about it. I didn't know about Juneteenth as a kid. So I would say I was on my way out of college when I first heard of Juneteenth, and that was down in South Carolina. But now it seems to be that, well, it's a national holiday now. So some people are saying that was Joe Biden's give back to us. What do you say before we play that song? Is that true, Cheryl? Is that how Joe Biden said, thank you, black folks, for voting for me? I mean,
well, I think it was good for the country in some kind of weird way. But I don't think it's the true date.
You don't think it's the true date?
I think it's
now. Hold on. You guys have just tuned in to America's favorite. That's right. America's favorite podcast about Afro textured hair. We're talking about the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. It's me, your homegirl, Ladosha Wright, aka Key Lolo. And then over there, I have my PNC, my partner in cosmetology, Cheryl Morrow, who just said something very interesting, which is what we do. If you are new to this podcast platform or this live stream, all we do is keep it 100, pure and unadulterated. So, in the infamous words of Gary Coleman, what you talking about, Willis? That's not the true date. Oh boy, the chat's gonna get a little spicy before we play our theme song. What do you mean this is not the original date?
I think Juneteenth is the last Confederate Southern state to abolish slavery, not the North. I think the North has slave owning states as well, and I think they were the last ones. But I don't think it fit the marketing of the Civil War. So, like the North was fighting the South, but the North had slaveholding states too, and I think the northern states were last, not Texas.
Only Cheryl would know that and would take it there. So it's these slave narratives. What's up, Sandra? I know you got something to say. I can hear it. I know, but hold on, Sandra. Wait a minute. What's up, ATLian? So we got two situations around our ancestors being free. So you have a Southern, as you say, marketing, right? Because the people up north was trying to act like the people down south was just some wretched, right. Conquistadors or whatever, and here they over here like, they ain't coming over on our neck of the woods, because the Northerners had slaves too, and that's something that I think that was the big issue with the Civil War. Like, you guys are calling us, the slave people, but y'all got some too down there.
And if you guys can check me on this one, but I do think the last state, ironically, happened to be the state that Joe Biden is from.
What? Delaware?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Joe! Come on,
Yeah.
what they call Brandon? Anybody in the chat, if you guys know anything about, here's another narrative. Well, I tell you, the United States. Ooh-wee, that pushed that date. So that date could go out a little bit further past 1865. Is that? Look at that. Sandra, let me drop this in the chat. I'm with you. Chrissy's laughing. Hey, this is, she said, say what? We're
Yeah,
supposed to be talking about hair,
I
but
think I think
it's
I think it's December 18th. You guys can check me.
December 18th would be the end of
The
all the.
actual, right, all of it,
Okay.
not just the southern.
Chris, fact check that for us right quick. She was my paralegal. Let me tell you, we'll talk about her a little bit later. As you know, the state of Ohio's got some issues. But hey, guys, welcome. We're gonna. Check. She says yes. You know what, Chris? Okay, you and Cheryl, y'all. We're supposed to be talking about hair, but this is why we're going to talk about the top 10 mistakes that hairstylists make, because we be on all other kind of stuff instead of the stuff that we're talking about here today. So we're going to play our song as we wait for more people to come in the chat. And this is by our lovely, lovely songstress. Her name is Miss Rachel Evans, and it is called Sister, Let Me Do Your Hair. And as the song plays, some of you guys I'm going to do a little extra fact checking to see was it December 18th that the last northern states freed they slaves, because they don't talk about the northern slaves. There's always the southern slaves. So it's not to get juicy. But in the meantime, sister, let me do your hair. Hey. Y'all see I got some curls today? They kind of bootleg. Hey. Cheryl said she'll like my singing. I'm in the shower. Beautiful. Hey.
To help you, let me help your light to shine through. I'd be so very happy if you would let me do your hair.
I'm looking up. I'm looking it up, y'all. Let me see what they're saying. I look kind of cute with these little dollar store glasses on.
Look smart.
Yeah, but they make you kind of drunk if you don't need them. I'm up here like, whoa. I wonder why glasses make you feel high, if you don't need them. Hey.
To help you, let me help your light to shine through. You'll be so very happy if you would let me do your hair.
Hey, let us do your hair. Come on, y'all. We have a wonderful topic. Come on in. Come on in. Happy Juneteenth. Happy Juneteenth. But we do have another date, not to take away anything from Galveston, Texas. So we recognize. Happy Juneteenth. Hey. Welcome to America's favorite podcast about Afro textured hair. We're talking the dumbest that people say about black folk. Yeah, all right, now we gonna pause that. Boom. All right. All right. So again, thank you guys so much for joining us. All of our partners are in the chat. We are always excited to see everybody come through. This is the hour of hair power. We are on our 61st episode. If you are joining us again, welcome. By the way, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you are new. Go ahead on and subscribe because we're here every Monday. And we really do talk about the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair. And Cheryl and I, we find this topic very important because something is taking place in and beauty industry that I just can't seem to wrap my hand around it. But but I did look that up. So here goes it. Now this is Google scholarship, which y'all know is called lookership. So what they're saying is Lincoln's 1863 Emancipation Proclamation did not free enslaved African Americans in northern states. It only freed those mostly southern rebellious. I gotta burn the boats on Yankee soil. In the words of my homeboy Yosemite Sam, Yosemite Sam was not feeling the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? So 2 years later, New Jersey bitterly refused to ratify the 13th Amendment that abolished slavery. So New Jersey, what's up, New Jersey Drive? So they're saying slavery's final legal death. This would be in New Jersey. They're saying that happened January 23rd in 1866. But I'm not seeing, they're still going over to Galveston. So they got, let's see, we got Rhode Island in 1784. They got a lot of dates here. I think people up north don't really want to talk about this. I can see because you just can't pull this up. Oh boy, it gets kind of deep here. So can't seem to get an actual date here. So we're going to have to come back. If anybody in the chat wants to do a little research as we talk about the top 10 mistakes that people, hairstylists are making in the beauty industry, we need the answer to when did slavery officially end in she said we got New Jersey. So New Jersey has their own, they were fighting it till the end, but there's some other states up north where slavery was still going on. And this
I think you have to actually put in Delaware was the last to ratify the 13th.
All right.
I think it was 1901. It was 1901.
What? That's when I was born. Shit. 19. Do you guys hear what she just said? 19?
35 years. Yeah, 35 years after the Civil War.
Oh. What we doing celebrating? Y'all, oh, well, okay. Well, we got so many days.
You have to physically put it in the search engine because you're not going to find it. Is just not going to come up. But
yeah, I mean, that's some, well, it's not revisionism, but we're just like kind of picking and choosing how we want to tell.
It's by omission.
Yeah.
You tell the truth by not mentioning it.
Yeah, because people up north, we think we real foxy than the people down south. I'm just telling you, people up north used to say some crazy things about the people down south, but now I'm just having some flashbacks in my head. I know, Sandra, but this is a touchy topic here, but remember, you are on America's favorite podcast about Afro hair, and we talk about those touchy topics, but today we have a wonderful top 10 list of mistakes that we're making in the cosmetology industry. So if we can fess up to some mistakes that people are saying, and I know we're making them, then America, y'all need to fess up too about them slave narratives up north, because you don't really hear about the slave narratives. Oh, you know what you hear about what happens? Slaves going north to be free. Am I lying, y'all? They're saying slaves was going north to be free. So now that makes us wonder, Harriet, Harriet, where was you going up north? Okay. I know they were trying to get to Canada. So, and I mean, we're joking, but we're not joking. Okay. If you are a history buff, you want to, we could do a live on this for sure. And now we love to pick somebody's brains about slavery in the North and why were Black people going north to be free when in fact, not only were they not free in the North, but they also wasn't welcomed in the North. That's true, right?
In
Sure.
most cases.
She like, yeah, in most cases. Okay, so Cheryl's being real conservative on that one. But that is true. That is true, guys. They was like, well, you can hear some stories about Northerners did not want Black people, did not want Blacks, period, free or not, to come and sit in the cars next to them on those trains and what have you and whatnot. But we have a wonderful, wonderful top 10 list because, we are coming up. We're getting closer to the Afro Hair Summit. We're starting to see some ticket sales. So if you have got your tickets, thank you so very much. We are really, really excited. We got some changing of some venues that we're working on now, but we will have those updates for you. But things are just coming along just fine. And Sandra said they faced a different kind of racism. Would that be, are you speaking to the North or are you speaking to the South? So, and as she kind of drops that answer in the chat, we're going to go ahead on and talk about these top 10 mistakes that we see that's happening in the beauty industry. Now, Cheryl, this list isn't in any order of importance, though I did try, guys. I did try to pick the top 10. And I'm going to work my way with the number one complaint, and then we're going down to the number 10th, to the 10th one. So if you agree or disagree about the mistakes we're making, remember we are hosting a free town hall on Sunday. That's right, Sunday, July 16th at the Caramel Theater here in Cleveland. It's free, and we will take this conversation just a little bit further on Sunday, July 16th at Caramel. We got some little trinkets, to give away. We're going to have some door prizes. So Cheryl's going to be there. Enlightened Solutions is going to help facilitate this much needed conversation because we want to hear from you about how we can make this barber and beauty and industry of dermatology a lot better, because we are going to have a dermatologist. We're going to have some dermatologists in attendance. This is how it's going down. So she said that her parents were a part of the Great Migration North, hoping for a better life. So they were trying to go north for a better life, even though they were slaves. Now, I'm not a historian, so I don't know if that meant if you were a free slave in the South, when you got to the North, were you still a free person, or were you back in servitude? I'm not quite sure, but I'm sure we're going to find out what's happening. So, okay, so we got some good Black history dropping in the chat. So let's hop into sure, we're going to talk. I'm going to pick your brain about these top 10 mistakes. And again, you can learn more about the summit by visiting afrohairscience.com. So let's get ready to rumble. You ready? All right. Here's the top 10 mistakes that we see in cosmetology. Now, we're going to give you some pros and cons to the mistakes, because sometimes customers don't understand what's happening behind the scenes. So Cheryl, feel free to give them the pros and the cons, not to smooch it over, but we want to have a healthy dialogue because we're going to fess up that we could do better. Starting with, you ready with the number one? Here's the number one complaint about, now this isn't a black thing, though this is the dumbest shit that black people say about black hair. So this is across the board, but for sure with black people, this has got to be the number one complaint in a barbershop and a hair salon. What do you think it is, Cheryl? The number one complaint. Someone in the chat, y'all. Let's get this party started. Don't let me be the only one. I got my stupid juice going on.
Lack of customer service.
Customer service, okay. Okay. Now, all is going to be customer service issue, but let's get more specific. Okay. So, what could be the number? Like, this is what I hate about salons. Okay. Trimming too much. I got that in there. Come on, Miss Foster. Okay. The number one.
Time management.
Oh,
time management.
Time management. You want to know why she is? I'm telling you right now. This is why she is my PNC, because that is the number one complaint. Wow. The number one complaint about hair salons and barbershops is y'all take too damn long and y'all make us wait. So talk to us, as Chill would say. Talk to me, Cheryl. What ye say about the waiting? Because Vidal Sassoon had a book called Madam, Sorry I Kept You Waiting.
Really?
Sandra, could you just let me get going before you start? Please just give me a moment. Look what Sandra put. I'm sorry, y'all. Sandra is our third co-host. Here we go. She said, stop. So you see, the dumbest shit. We go, guys. This is real talk. This is why you guys are our partners. Thank you, Sandra. Only Sandra was going to bring it 100. Okay, all right. So, Cheryl, give us the pros and the cons of why do we take so long, number one, and why in the hell in 2023 are customers still waiting to get the service? Take it away.
Well, I did used to train hairstylists in New York, and the question is where did they pick up the habit? Because you don't have it in beauty school, and so you don't have that because you have to do the service and you want them to leave because you have the next client and you don't book them so close together. So here we go. I think that we lose the real art of beautifying in terms of how we learn it in beauty school. And I think just flat out, it just becomes a numbers game. And I think the professionalism is diminished while we try to get as many people in, but that doesn't seem to work because you actually really can't work on one person at a time. We think we can, we think that we can have 3 people waiting and then we have one in the chair. It actually slows us down. So
now y'all know Kilolo about to play devil's advocate, so y'all best to get ready. Because Cheryl, we like to see our money sitting out there in them chairs. So, because people be canceling. Ain't that right? Come on, hairstylists, barbers.
Well, yeah, they do that too.
No showing. Where y'all no shows at? Come on.
Well, now here we go again. When you do have a habitual missed time management, the key is that you risk your clientele because our businesses should not be based on our skill set. It should be based on our attention and our focus and our ability to move the client, to be respectful of their time. And so we have to have a very fluid um, workload. And so when we don't do that, we just think that 5 people in the salon, you really are not working on 2 people at one time. There is no such thing. It's an illusion. And so when you go back and you train them to, let's say, having windows of 30 minutes in between, will give you a 30-minute window to drop combs and go wash them off
I
instead
got
of
you. Okay.
dropping them, like Miss Sandra said, putting them back on the station, sticking them back in the drawer because you feel you don't have. And I do think it's an accumulation of, because we don't learn that in beauty school.
You're right. I mean, I'm just saying,
It's a skill. It's something. It's a bad habit we picked up trying to deal with money and deal with trying to get done, but it actually slows you down. It doesn't speed up your time.
And I think that what happens with the waiting game is that if you are a barber or a cosmetologist and you have a practice of making people wait, you build that into your business model where people won't show up because they're like, well, you're not going to be on time anyway, so I'll be late. And then that just kind of the other person is like, yeah, I'll be late too. And so that becomes your business model, that you're just not on time. So that is the drawback. If you like to make people wait because you're trying to accommodate so many people, even though people may say they want to wait, because we get that, people will say, well, I don't mind waiting. But I'm going to tell you, when I was in cosmetology school, I know y'all might find this hard to believe, but I was the only Black girl. I know y'all like, really, I was. And they used to tease me all the time and say, right, we better not drive across 105 and see no heads lined up across the window. Now, I didn't grow up I never went to a hair salon until I owned one. I mean, I went to one for my prom and they sent me home. And then when I graduated from college, they, messed up, over processed my hair and it came out. But I never went to a hair salon. So I didn't know what to expect as a salon owner. So when she made that comment, I was just kind of like, what you talking about? You know what I'm saying? So the waiting, that seems to be something for your high end, because Vidal Sassoon did write the book, Madam Sorry I Kept You Waiting. And then you also have it as a practice, but you're right. They do not teach that in barbering or cosmetology schools. So let's see.
But and also let me add the fact that, okay, Miss Teresa, the shop culture also drives how folks manage their time. My
Okay.
shop, perfect
All right.
example. Anytime I have, and let me just say this: we all do not like to wait. You do not go to the doctor's office. The first thing you say, well, why give me an appointment at 9 if you gonna call me to the chair at 9:25 or 9:30? You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
it is irritating. And I
Yes.
have to admit, it is irritating when you go to make an appointment. Why make an appointment at the DMV if you're not going to honor it? I had an 11:30 and you all not ready. We are everybody's the first one to say, why did you give me an appointment? So we do have to, and it's training. It's not,
Right.
not anything else.
Teresa, you're right. I'm not trying to toot my own horn. Beep beep. I'm just saying, Cheryl. So we have a no wait policy. And if we're behind, we will call the guest and say we are behind. But we believe when we're training here, because I train. So I'm training them how long it should take to do these services so that you can reach your financial, because everybody want to make money. I don't know if productivity is a good word, but I think time management, is a better word, and the income would be the reward. So
Yeah.
there are ways that you can see people on time. But like you said, it's the culture of the salon. So that's number one. All right, guys, number one. That's the number one complaint about hair salons is that dang nabbits. You guys just keep making us wait and you take forever. You just take forever getting us back to those chairs. Now, the second one. What do you guys think the second one? What's up, Yay Tay Keaton? Okay. What's the second complaint, Cheryl, you think they have about hair salons? So we got all the waiting game. It's just people just hate it. It is number one. I looked it up, and it still seems to be the hot topic concern. So, Cheryl, what do you think number two might be? Anybody in the chat? What's the number two complaint? Oh, we got cost too much. Right, that's a good one. That's a good one. That's not number two. That's a good one. Not listening. Ooh, y'all getting spicy. Y'all getting spicy up in here. Okay, Cheryl, what do you think number two might be? Somebody keeps saying come washed. Okay.
The phone.
The phone. Okay.
And,
No. Okay. The phone did not come up. Number two, the number two complaint. And so how I did this, guys, I just kind of went into like YouTube and you know how they give you those popular things like that. So this is where I'm getting it from and also on Google. So number two, because I go by like the searches, okay? So number two would be fees. The number two complaint is that people are tired. They do not like these new fees of having to pay for, they got pregnancy fees, they have detangling fees, they have deposits that you have to make. They have fees for going to buy the stuff for you. So I'm not familiar with all of this. So some of this is new. This is the new world of cosmetology. Cheryl, it might be new to you, but we're talking about the dumbest shit that Black people say about hair. So number one, charging those extra fees. You got a deposit fee, you got a pregnancy fee, you got a detangle your hair fee. So what do you think about charging extra and taking deposits or requiring deposits?
well, I hope even in the town hall that we have that we can speak frankly and freely. Um, I think the fees uh, are from a the new generation of hairstylists. I don't think that is that was not a part of my
Yeah.
early.
Yeah, I see in the chat a lot of people are like, wow, wow.
Yeah, because we're really not familiar with that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
and so I think the fees are because this is probably within the last 25 years. This is probably the lowest skilled generation of hairstylists, and I
Wow.
think that
And why do you say that? Why do you say this generation? And can you give us a year, like a time
I
span?
would probably say from about 1997, 8, 19, and from 2000 on, because you have to remember the start of charging for longer hair is coming out of the weave era, and adding on this, adding on that, adding on this, and having to do multi dimensional hairstyles, like maybe 5 or 6 things on just one person. And I think that you know it's just it's a byproduct of coming out of that weave era, because you have to do so much prep, and the
Okay.
prep is part of the style. But I will say that and two, it is also because weave is a high ticket item. And then when you go to just braiding and twisting and things of that nature, those things are can become time consuming, but it is ultimately their inability to put value in their skill set, and so that there's just not enough money in the entree, and so now
Okay.
you have all of these superfluous extra details that they're charging for just trying. I mean, because when me and you were, I know when I was in the salon, I mean, a relaxer and wash and everything for me was $80
Well,
and
not
all.
today. Oh no.
So there you go. You have to, and then you're doing a lot of work because the hair is natural and the hair is either in a braid style for months and months. You're just doing a lot of prep work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the fees, guys, we're gonna play a little devil's advocate here. The nature of the new hair design today is a tad bit more labor intensive than they were back in the day. So these newer hairstylists, they're like, you guys are gonna pay for all of this work that we're doing with all of this hair, and so that's where that's coming from. And also technology is giving the newer generation the opportunity to collect money up front, whereas before it wasn't an option. However, there are some other industries like your airline industry, your medical, community. Those people, they require some money. You got to pay before you make it happen. So some people are buying that. So should there be a fee or no fee? Someone wants to know, should there be fees, Cheryl? That's a good one. Yate, I'm sorry. I'm like, yeah, I need some glasses. Okay, Yate, he says, so should we be charging fees? Yes or no?
Well, if I was a salon owner, I would probably most likely um, not allow them to have fees. I think fees in a sophisticated beauty environment is just something that um, should not probably be a part of the history and the energy of some place you come to relax and to get beautified. I don't know if you get extra fees in a nail salon just because you haven't had a pedicure in 3, 4, you know what I mean? Just think about the most ridiculous things. Now, however, I do think, why not just charge more
Yeah.
if you have an extended over 25 minutes of prep? So when you have to go beyond 25, because one of the things that we can say, and this is what we're going to learn at the town hall, there's a better way to communicate with your customer base and your client, and tell them that the cost of living, just like anything in the airline industry, that they don't allow you to just take on just loads of luggage anymore. The cost
No.
of things have gone up. So all you have to do, if I have to prep you longer than 10 minutes, 15 minutes, I'm just going to your service. It's just $10 more instead of just doing fees, which is just a little tacky, in
Yeah.
my opinion.
All right, so there you go, Mr. Keaton. That's a good question. So yeah, it sounds like the use of language. So here, fees is maybe not the best use of words, but I can just throw a hint out there. What we say is the menu starts from. The service starts from, and when we do the consultation, that is the time to explain to the customer why the price is going up, but we make it a point to say our goal is to keep it per the price you see online. When they go online, we don't give out brochures anymore because most people are looking online. So again, I'll just put what you said, Mr. Keaton. Yes, so it's the language that we're using. So again, we're going to take a deeper dive into some of these topics in of course, a more succinct manner at the town hall that's taking place on Sunday, July 16th, and that's at 4:30 at the Caramel Theater, the historic Caramel Theater in Cleveland, Ohio. All right, guys, here we go. All right, we're moving on down. We're moving on down. Number three, what's the number three complaint? I'm sick of these damn hair salons. Y'all charging all this money. Y'all making us wait a long time. What do you think, number three? What's the number three issue that hair salons, you guys can do a lot better if you would stop doing this? And somebody does have it in the chat. Let me see, because I'm going to drop it in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Somebody already dropped it in the chat. We're talking about, hey, you know what? Beauty industry, well, maybe not. We're talking about hair salons. But what could be the number three complaint? So, Cheryl, let's take a stab. We got number one is waiting. Number two, we've got fees. And we now know this language.
I think somebody in the chat said not listening.
Okay, not listening. Okay, that's a good one. We like Family Feud. Good answer. Good answer. No, Teresa, you have the number three complaint, hands down, is this one. Come with your hair washed. Now, this one is a contentious one, and I'm going to tell you why. But in the meantime, what do you think about a hair salon telling the customer to come with your hair washed? That is the number three complaint. Thank you so much, Teresa, for that one. Number three complaint is, come with your hair washed. What do you think about? Because this is the new. This is new. Depending on anywho, take it away.
Well, I'm going to ask you guys a question. Most times that a salon would tell you to do that, what is the end result service? Style.
If they say come with your hair, which service requires the hair to be clean before you come? No.
What are they getting when the hairstylist says that? What style are they ended up with?
For sure, you're talking here we go. Come on, Sandra. Bam. Yeah, that's going to be your braiders. Your braiders are saying, you got to wash that hair. Your braiders and your, for sure. Here we go again. Braids is popping up. Braids. There we go, ladies. Yeah.
Okay. So do you see? Okay. So now do you see how that makes sense? Because it's prep. That's the problem. And so they don't have a license to prep. And they're going to get in trouble if they prep. Or second, they don't have water. They can't use water. So it's kind of, the industry and the rules and regs box them in. And I know it's still tacky. Don't get me wrong, because a cosmetologist covers the use of water. But once water gets involved, and here we go again, and that may not be a mistake of cosmetologists, but certainly cosmetology and cosmetologists and barber stylists need to go back in and protect their right to do that. Because at the end of the day, it does come down to, and I don't even know if some of the clients even mind, but here we go again. There is a skill set to take wet hair to dry. And if you're not good at it, the customer doesn't enjoy you yanking and tangling and tugging on it to get it to the point that it is conducive to apply the braiding style and then for them to walk out of the door. So they think they're cutting on time. I think it's a combination of just the culture and the era, and then the licensing issue. I think this one is a combination.
Yeah. But now I would say this. Like our menu is a la carte. Okay. So you have the option to we have defined in our salon culture what clean is. So in the Reverence Design team, the culture is flake free with no oil, in the hair. And that's because we do a lot of hair coloring.
Mm.
And so some people don't understand. We do color and we do relaxers. We have never seen a decrease in relaxing services nor hair cover. So our salon, we're not anti-chemicals, but we are aware that there's some language out here that's encouraging Black women to not wash their hair. But color and relaxers are more effective if the hair is clean. So we teach our customers a regimen of having the hair clean to receive chemical services, which is a little bit different from those braiders who legally are not, able to wash the hair. So you got to understand that you do have some legal issues as to why you have to come with your hair, already washed. And then again, you do have some salons where the menu is a la carte. So when I first started working, I worked in a white hair salon, and it was very interesting because they could not understand why would a person pay for a shampoo, blow dry, and style. And the Black customers could never understand why would you just pay for a haircut and walk out with your hair wet. You had some cultural, a different understanding or context behind the hair salon that gets kind of crossed over, depending on where you're from. So not washing hair, that would be number three. All right, we're working pretty good. We're doing good with our time. All right, sure. What's number four? The number four complaint in hair salon. Why we got issues with y'all hairstylists, y'all out, and she gave the year. We're talking about people from 1997 to present day, including me. And I would say that we are a different type of a hairstylist from those from 1996 going back. I have been told by plenty of older, hairstylists that you guys are not even doing hair per se. So I would have to agree with that statement that us newer, again, 1997 onward. I got my license in 2000. So, there you have it. All right. So what could number four be? The number four complaint that people have about hair salons of today. What you think we got? So while you're
Mm.
we got waiting fees coming with your hair washed. Anybody in the chat want to give it a stab?
I'm all out.
You're all out? Okay, here we go. Knowledge. Yeah,
Oh.
that people just, that's what you said. These newer hairstylists do not know what they are doing. The gluing the hair, the buying the hair with the curls already in it, being able to watch things on social media. So somehow we're losing our knowledge base behind the chair. What do you think about the look and learn approach uh, to hairstyling and hair care? Because that's the new thing now. Let's just be honest, guys. This is no attack, but we see we don't allow that here in the salon. Do not go on YouTube to get the answers. We have cosmetology books and we have experts. But what about the look and learn cosmetologist?
I mean, is it their fault? I mean, is it?
Meaning,
I mean, we are in the trenches. I mean, we are founders of a podcast called The Dumbest Shit. Um, I mean, ironically, that um, you know, and I think the hairstyle, because the hairstyle is something that actually can be done at home. I think the home person is becoming more of a realistic review testimonial or tutor, and because they can watch something and they feel that they're directly speaking to them, and cosmetologists are don't do one or two things. They don't have conversational workshops at least once a month for all their clients to communicate to them, and then they
oh,
don't and then they don't have time because they're busy working.
yeah. Well, that's a good solution. Maybe we could talk about that at the town hall, that hair salons could offer a focus group or something to help people take care of their hair at home. Our salon is a learning salon. So part of your salon visit is that you must know how to do your own hair. You have to have some home hair care maintenance. It's the number one reason we lose customers. I'll be honest.
Yeah.
People feel like I'm paying you and I don't need you to tell me. And we're like, well, you in the wrong damn salon, okay? Because we don't do that up in here. But no, I'm not even joking. I think that the cost of a hairstyle today and the look, I mean, all hairstyles have always required maintenance, but
Mhm.
something about somebody just put this in the chat. Here we go. Sandra, you dropped it. Something about that YouTube. YouTube is okay to kind of give you like a general overview, but you need your own personal one-on-one. What do you think about hairstylists, Cheryl, actually helping their customers do this stuff at home versus, as Sandra said, all over YouTube?
Mhm. I mean, and if the hairstylist does not have time, they also can do StreamYard or Zooms or live FaceTime. And so they can instruct them and then just have more video call appointments to the point where they are interceding them if they want to ask them a question because they just want to feel that they're doing things right. Now, there is a generational gap, I think, between, I don't think they come to the salon often like they were 25, 30, 35 years ago.
Okay.
Their extended time is extended, and then of course everyone gets disconnected again. Because when you saw me once a week or once every 2 weeks religiously, I can at least keep up with you pretty good.
Okay.
And
But see,
yeah,
yeah, then the era of protective hairstyles that pushes that salon visit way, what? Uh-oh, I just struck a nerve. Did y'all see that face? Did you got? Hey, this is the new style, as the Beastie Boys would say. Protective hairstyles. That is part of the Crown Act that they're vying. They're fighting to be able to wear. But there's some drawback, as Cheryl just pointed out, is that you're further away from your stylist being able to help you navigate that home hair care. So you guys got to watch out. Those protective styles, they're not really protecting hair. Any comments before we go to the next one about those
and,
protective
and the
styles?
person who is doing the braiding, locking, twisting, those types of hairstyles, they are not, they're so far, the next return, the next visit is so far, they don't even probably remember what the client even got in their hair, to the point where they have to remind them. And then let's just say if they develop some kind of scalp fungus or dandruff or whatever the case may be, they don't, the client, I mean, the hairstylist is so far removed from it
Uh-huh.
that you almost got to get more acquainted again. Like, what do you have in your hair? Girl, I forgot. Then it's
Right.
that
Yeah,
conversation.
yeah, that's very real. That's very, very real. So you just got to understand our role is becoming more one of being a consultant to the actual customer. This actually used to be a thing back in the day, and maybe it will make a resurgence in the future. But there we go. Okay, so next up, the number we're on number. Okay, so we got the number fifth. The number fifth complaint would boil down to professionalism. People talking nasty, people being rude, people
Loud.
coming to work looking kind of, well, I'm a old school hoochie mama, so I've been guilty of my hoochie clothes, I will admit. But professionalism by way of tone, language, not being forthright, that is a complaint. So what do you think? How do we offset some of the professionalism, because most continuing education, you get professionalism around like money management, branding, and marketing, but you see very little continuing education around how to conduct yourself. And as Mr. Keaton says in the chat, he wanted to know like the language. So help us understand, to those cosmetologists who might be in the chat trolling, and some customers as well who may, like, I like going to, like, people, like, I'm not the best hairstylist, right? But people come to me because I'm nice. I will be honest. They will say that all the time, that our salon is professional. So, why is this really important, Cheryl? Aside from the obvious, you'll get more customers.
Mhm. I just think that on a united front, it would be extremely good for our collective well-being and our collective self-esteem and our collective ego and collective prestige as a collective group of a very important industry, that we check each other and just have a model school of rules or something, that we always want to keep each other and we come together. And I don't think that we have spaces enough to that are away from the consumer, customer, client population, to where we can check ourselves and just get into our own professionalism. But I also think that that is probably just as much as important as chemistry class in beauty school, because that at the end of the day is where you're going to do most of your customer and client retention
Oh,
and
okay.
referrals and things of that.
Okay.
Right? We're
All
not
right.
taught, we're not taught.
I got you. Okay, Miss Keaton, I'm sorry. All right. Okay. She's like, hey, I ain't no guy. Okay. So here we go on the professionalism. That's a really, really, really important point. I just think that because people now can have this is why, a push for the lofts and people to work in their own silos is because they don't like that, Cheryl. Some people just want to be, and then some people are in the lofts and they have, their decorum and all that cool stuff. But there is a school of thought, for some people, they just kind of want to be, just kind of, out there doing it the way that they want to do it because they don't like that, you know.
And two, and let's just put one more out there, to the point where I think that because we are a little too slow with our applications, I think that we want to make our salon and barbershops closer to our man cave and our kitchens. We just want to make that atmosphere like we're at home, because we know we're going to be there until 12 o'clock the next day.
They're like, hey, you lucky I'm here, girl.
So
You better shut up.
so we're trying to mimic the home space, and
Oh,
we don't realize that, then you have the other bougie salon and barbershop owners, where they want to, shift and upgrade into more of a spa environment. So they lower the noise, they ban the cell phones, and they have the music, and they have the vibes, and they get in and get out, and really feel like you had a beauty experience.
now why
But
we
then
gotta be bougie? Why can't we just be professional?
boom, that's the point. You know what I mean? Because the ones that you can go in there and you can hear the latest hip hop and the latest song, and you can see the House of Wires of Atlanta, blah 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 blah. And make you say this: I love those shows. I love hip hop. That's not the point. The point is that when I'm at work, I would not want to go to a doctor when he got the speaker underneath the chair, and he got to turn it down so he can hear you. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Uh,
think I just think that some salons have that, they've got that, that hip hoppy eclectic, and I know you're
Not
saying
eclectic. It's not eclectic.
Okay. I was trying, like, there are no TVs in my, I never understood why would you put a TV in a hair salon, but that's a whole
Well,
nother
you got
story.
you have to put a TV in because you're planning to get, you're trying to entertain them from the fact that they're waiting.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one. Okay, so if you have a TV in your hair salon, I'm not hating. I'm just saying, I don't know. I just no TVs will ever happen up in here. Okay, so we have number one. We've got waiting. Number two, fees. Three, come with your hair wash. Number four, knowledge. Number five, professionalism. Number six, somebody put it in the chat. You guys are going to love this one. Let me see if I can find it. The number six complaint. Did I lose it? Maybe I read it wrong. Okay, hold up. Let me see. Cost too much. Did I see it? Okay, maybe I didn't see it. If I find it, I'll put it up there. But cutting too much damn hair off. Why is it that when I come to a hair salon and I ask for a hair trim, they didn't cut off 2, 3? Why do hairstylists have a different version of what a trim and a haircut? What is the difference? Because I don't like it. Every time I come, the last time I went, they cut my hair up to here. It was down to here. They cut it up to there. So talk about that complaint of, you know what? They cut too much of my hair off. I guess that would fall back into not listening. So you're cutting too much hair off. What's up, Amber? Cutting off too damn much, Leslie. They're saying you guys cut off too much hair. What about the haircut? What is the difference between a haircut
Okay.
and a hair trim? So let's kick the 100, kick the ballistics. Here we go.
This would be included into salon métier. Now, what I'm about to say, y'all, I probably would guess that the average barber, the average cosmetologist cannot describe and quantify what a trim is in terms of centimeters versus inches. They cannot tell you. They were never taught to say that a trim is under a half an inch or 1/16 of an inch, eighths of. We have never quantified it. So we just say trim. But there is no such thing as trimming too much because we don't understand we've never quantified the amount of what a trim is. Okay, now, trim does not change the shape. Cut changes a shape. Okay, now, okay,
Now,
was that explained?
Okay, did you guys follow that?
Cut,
Say it again. Walk us through one more again, like a 2-year-old.
Right, a cut changes the actual shape. A trim is a half an inch below, okay? It will not change the shape of the overall hairstyle. A trim, as it is defined, like I defined it in salon métier, is for hold and style, lasting, and body. It has nothing to do with shape. It has everything to do with how the curls hold, okay? And how the style stays significant, and it will increase the body and the volume of the overall hairstyle, but it doesn't change the shape. Okay?
Now, go ahead.
Cutting will change your overall shape. Let's just say somebody says, "Can you take more off the top?" They expect to see a noticeable shape. when you cannot trim. When somebody says, "Can you take more off the top because I'm not able to style it?" They don't expect you to go in there and trim. They expect you to go in there and significantly, they can tell that there is a different shape to the hairstyle. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. But Sandra, here we go. Don't laugh, Cheryl. Here we go, Sandra. I'm about to put you up. Get ready. What about dusting? I'm sorry.
That's some dumb shit. Okay. That is some that's that platform artist bullshit. That's that razzle and dazzle with the bullshit. That's just, it don't mean nothing.
I love it. I love y'all. I love y'all with all my heart. I hope we can do the podcast. We need a TV
Dusting.
show. I'm with you, Leslie Ann. That okay. If you
See, it's almost like this. This is very clear. Salt enhances the food. Pepper changes the overall taste of the food. Does that make sense? So trimming only enhances, sometimes when the curls they fall out a little too much, you go in there and you trim. It's an overall, you know, maintenance of the style. Cutting will change the whole style altogether.
mm-hmm.
Shorten length puts another shape to it. And
Oh,
we have not, and we just have never defined it. And that's one of our mistakes, because we don't know that trimming is a half an inch or and below, and cutting is an inch above.
okay. Okay, so we could do better, guys. The beauty industry, we could do better. So now the next question
Now let
is,
me just say this. Now let me say this. I just remembered. We actually cut more off, just to answer you guys' question, because we originally lied to you, and because we should have cut off more the last time, and we ain't got behind, and now y'all need to get all y'all shit cut off because none of the ends are raggedy, and we lied. So now we trying to sneak a little more in there this time, and then you and had a fit. Well, we should have took 2 inches off last 6 months, like 2 months ago. But that's because, of course, the professionalism. We didn't sit you down and be honest with you, and the kind of hold and body and maintenance and fullness and movement. We lied to you, and we should have given it to you, even though you're going to be shorter. We should have done it then. And so we just keep trying to sneak it in, inching it in, or calling it dusting. Oh, girl, I'm just going to dust you. You know what I mean?
okay, I'm about to show you something. Yes, I can't take it. Leslie, I can't wait to meet you. She said Leslie is our winner because she brings more hairstylists in the chat. Look at Leslie. Here she go.
Exactly.
We lied. We should have cut those fireworks in. Whew, Leslie, I can't. I need some tissue. Help. So here goes another one. Here we go. So Leslie also wants to know. So here's the thing. How much should you charge? Should the trim cost as much as a haircut, as much as the trim, as much as the hairstyle, as much as a dusting? How much should people pay for a trim, a haircut, and a dusting? Should any of this have a price? Considering you're not cutting that much off anyway, so why should I be paying? So what's the answer? Or should they? Should there be a cost? Should one be free or gratis or whatever?
Well, let me just say this. When we let's just say sometimes if you're really a top professional, and I'm just going to say that has a very good control over the direction of your client, and they trust you, you're really going to go in there and probably trim them just because of the style that they have requested, which is beautiful and gorgeous, but it can look better if you just go in there and trim some of the frayed ends, because some hairstyles require them to be very even. You'll just throw it in there. You know what I mean?
If we,
So, but let me just be clear. There is no, I don't know nothing about no dusting. I only know about quantification. And as cosmetologists, we have to quantify what a trim is. Starting at a half an inch and below is a trim. Half an inch above is a haircut. And the haircut is an extra cost. The trim should always be our preference and our professionalism, because the style won't look good unless we have blunt ends. And so it enhances, and it's movement, and it's gorgeous, and it replenishes the hair strand to take wear and tear from the next time you see them. So it's just a matter of the professionalism, and I will do it just because, especially if they have 6 inches or longer hair, because it just will not start. It just starts to not look good once they just keep, you know. Uh,
yeah.
and, and let me just say this: I was a hairstylist. I never lied. I told them what I was going to do, and that's it. I had no discussion. They trusted me, and I took control of my clients' well-being and hair and scalp while they were in my chair. I am the boss of my client. I ain't scared and all. No, you gonna do what I tell you to do because I know the best. I don't I don't play second fiddle. I take it as if I'm the physician of their hair and scalp at that time. I do not. So, but Miss Leslie, we lied. And I and it is our professionalism that we can say that.
Yeah.
Because then that means that we have the power to make a difference. And that's just
Okay. So
my
before we go, we got my Canadian beauty. What's up, Judy? I miss you. She wants to know, should she tip for a trim versus a cut, or how do you tip out? How should a
I
customer?
would I would not. They're going to see. Here we go again, Miss Judy. See, here we go again. They're gonna always tip you for taking control of the situation.
No,
They're,
she's a customer. She's a customer.
well, what I'm understand,
Okay.
and what I am saying you don't necessarily have to divide. You do that by, wow, she just took control of of the hairstyle, and she is just giving me a maintenance trim. But because she's quantified what a trim is, I don't have to look and see what she's gonna go. Now, if we actually talked about a cut, you know that she's going to go in and actually reshape it so you have it for another 6 months. So you already know
But should she tip
your
for cut?
hairstylist.
But
Yes,
she,
what I'm saying, you tip for a cut. Trim, it should be just one of those discrepant, your discretion. If she explained it and she says, you know what, we're going to just keep this maintenance and it's getting a little, it's almost
right.
like your yard. If your gardener just took extra time to just trim the brushes off the side of your door,
Manicure.
right, and you appreciate it, then you tip him or her. That it's the same premise, but
Okay.
definitely if a cut, and especially if you like it.
Okay. Well, I was taught by Philippa Lucy, who says it's not how much you take off, it's how much you leave on. So charge for the haircut. But we don't charge to do what you're talking about, which is to go in and keep the haircut looking nice. Our customers, they do trust us. So we have a working relationship with our customers. I do have some customers, I have never cut their hair at all. I don't make a big stink out of it, but if they come in and they want hair like mine, you are talking a precision cut. But if people are trying, they just like long hair and they want it, it's up to you. If I see that you need some, me to go in there and take care of it, we will all do that at no cost. But we do, and I'm not the only person. We do have customers in our salon who we have never cut their hair, and everything is working out fine. It may not have the perfect blunt look, but they're not looking for that anyway. So again, you know what? It's to your discretion. But again, we are talking about the top 10 complaints. So coming up with number 7, the other complaint are products. Customers do not like the community bucket approach. They don't like using over-the-counter products and paying. That's been the hottest thing smoking on TikTok, is that they've got the like the motions and stuff that they see in the beauty supply store, but then they're charging, spa prices. So do products negate the cost or the value of the service? What ye say about customers who have this as the number 7 complaint, is professional products versus over the counter?
Okay. I'm not going to go too in depth into this. I think it is a professional conversation, but I will say this. I do think the clients are correct in this regard. I will not be paying the price of a filet mignon and I get a cheeseburger. I'm not doing that.
Okay.
If I want a filet mignon out of a nice steakhouse, I go to a nice expensive steakhouse. I expect prime rib or filet mignon. I expect to pay those kind of prices, but I don't expect to get a burger. Right?
Okay. All right. So, the customers are so you customers who are putting your complaints and stuff into Google and into YouTube, I take it you guys are dead on, because we have hairstylists, licensed cosmetologists in the chat, and they are agreeing that these complaints that you guys are making, these are legitimate complaints. And again, Cheryl and I and Chi Chi and Bethany from Enlightened Solutions, we can't wait to see you guys at the town hall that's taking place on Sunday, July 16th at the Caramoo, and that's at 4:30. Please visit afrohairscience.com to get more information. All right. Okay. Next up, here we go, guys. We're winding down. We got a few more minutes. We're winding down. Here's the number 8 complaint that people have when it comes to hair salon, is they lack diversity. Okay. So again, you got white people that can't do black hair and so on and so forth. There's a lack of diversity. So how do we address this issue that people, particularly people who live in small town America, they can't seem to get that New York, that San Diego, What about people in small town who can't get to big town and they can't get those services? That's a complaint.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, I think that that one is not a very long answer. I think that the Afro Hair Summit is one of those summits, besides the trade shows, that probably do keep things a little segregated. I do think that European straight hair customers could benefit from black hairstylists, and I think black hairstylists and black customers can benefit from the wonderful knowledge and services and skill sets of white cosmetologists. And I hope that even our professionalism can blend, because I do think that we have something to offer each other.
Right.
So
Now, to some of the white people's, I'm playing devil's advocate here. They're saying that we would, we've wanted to learn how to do some Black folk hair, but they won't let us touch it, and then we get accused of cultural, appropriation. So help the because we
well,
have white
well,
people
well,
who.
let's. Well, I understand that, but we discussed that in the Plantation Beauty because they were the ones that gave us the hair complex in the first place. So we have to work our way socially with the utmost social grace and etiquette and undo that history. And like my friend Charles Parisi would say, Black people, you got to get white people off the wall if you're going to get them to dance. They're not going to just go in and just start dancing. So it behooves Afro Hair Summit to have that salon métier. I think we're going to have that on Sunday.
Yes.
We are going to have a kumbaya, and Black people will lead it because we should. And we are going to bridge those gaps and raise the level of our métier, and our professionalism is going to be off the charts. I have no doubt.
All right. So we are doing our part. I'm sure you guys are catching some of the undertones of why we are having these topics deliberately here on America's favorite podcast. We're talking the dumbest shit that people say about Black hair. This is America's favorite podcast about textured hair. By the way, if you haven't, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. And we are loving the dialogue that's in the chat. Leslie Ann, you are on the BALL. Okay. We're down to number 9. We got one more to go. The ninth complaint that people have about hair salons are children. That hairstylists are not doing their best job when it comes to children's hair care. They're a little aggressive, their language, their tone, they lack patience, the cost for a child's hair. So I know some hairstylists in the chat has a lot to say. So we got a few more minutes. So what do you say about that complaint that, you know what? Y'all could do a little bit better with these services.
That's valid. Yeah, that's valid.
Anybody else wants to agree? In the chat, who agrees?
Yeah, that's valid. And let me just say this. I do think because of the workload and our scheduling issues and our time management issues. And another thing, I think that just the whole genre, we don't rest well. And so when you're already tired, it's just not the thing to have a little girl with a whole bunch of hair at that particular moment. So we have to make sure that we are thoughtful in our day to have children or days, or even have a separate section in the salon to where we can have a lot more. But we don't get taught in beauty school. See, here we go again. We don't get taught that aspect of it. So I would agree.
All right. Okay. So we're going to play a nice little commercial again about salon métier, because this is where we as professionals, we can help bridge the gap. And then we have one more, but so far we have the number 1 is waiting. Number 2, fees. Number 3, come with your hair wash. Number 4, y'all don't know what y'all doing. You guys lack professionalism. You're cutting way too much off, and you're charging for things that you shouldn't be. And we're not paying for that dusting. Also your products. And then we have children. And of course, we're talking about diversity. So how do we address that? How are we going to make that, close the gap? Here's our little commercial about the Afro Hair Summit's Salon Métier. The Afro Hair Summit is happening this summer in July in Cleveland, Ohio. Whatever you think you know will be turned on its head, so be prepared.
Especially when you teach Afro cosmetology, you have to teach it from a historic, a genetic, and an anthropologic perspective.
Saturday, the event begins with West African braiding métier. Saturday evening, a free public forum around Afro hair spirituality. The learning continues at the Brown Nevada Institute, Strongsville, with Salon Metier. That afternoon, a free community town hall public forum around Afro hair. Monday concludes with a professional development in Afro cosmetology. The time is now. Save the dates. Be a part of this. All right, y'all. It's coming. It's happening. We are doing our part to address, some of these complaints. And so, you know what? Listen at this. Listen, look at this. You ready, Cheryl?
These kids' heads is big as our.
It's true. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. And again, they don't really cover this in cosmetology school, and this is why we are we are having the Afro Hair Summit, because and continuing education is really key. And that was like the
Let me
number.
just say this: it
Yeah.
is wonderful people. I mean, we got the best chatters and some of the smartest hairstylists in this group, and I really hope that, because I hope we get to go out and network and have a drink together, and so I can just laugh.
Yeah.
I know, because I know you guys know you have something to offer this great industry that is our inheritance, and y'all be on one, and
Yeah.
yeah, the heads are big, madam.
Yeah. Yeah. Their
Let's
head.
let's
Yeah.
Leslie, let's have a drink. I hope we get to
Yeah,
me and
so we are having a network mixer at the Academy Tavern. That's Sunday night. I mean, sorry, that's Saturday. So we're gonna have a good time, and again, we got more and more commercials to come. So here we go. Here's the last one, and we're gonna wrap this baby up. The number one complaint about the barber and beauty industry. I'm sorry, the cosmetology industry. Barbers are like, well, how we get dropped in on this? I'm sorry, guys. The number 10th complaint that people have about hair salon are the laws. So these laws that are affecting the industry, from your braiders that don't have to wash the hair, to the Crown Act, and so on and so forth. So what about the laws? Now, some cosmetologists are not even aware of what's taking place. So what do you say about that as a complaint? That number one, some cosmetologists don't know, and then number two, are these laws, the no, they don't need the education, and the Crown Act, are these really conducive to the salon industry? Because some customers are not buying what's taking place.
I'm gonna let you answer that, because our esteemed LaDosha has been in the fight and has been there, and so I would look to you for that particular answer.
All right. Leslie Sands said they love when she said she loved when Cheryl do that style eye, because she did hit it like okay. So I got like 1 minute. We're gonna wrap this baby up. So here's what I have to say about that complaint. I'm gonna say that the customers are correct. We do have some concerns about the loss. Now, what we want to say is that each state has their own law. I think that's something that a lot, because people who watch the channel, everybody is not from Ohio. Okay. So every state in the union, they have their own interpretation of how they want to do that federal law around cosmetology. So what I want to say is that you have to go to your state board's website to find out what is taking place. That's number one. Number two, the Crown Act is a federal. They're trying to make this bill or this law a federal law. To date, it is not a federal law. So we have to make that clear, because some people thought it passed. Some people are like, they don't like it. So you got to understand that that is a federal law. I know to date, 22 states have the Crown Act as a law. that it is illegal to not hire or kick someone out of school because of how their hair grows and how they choose to style it. So that is in 22 states. My only concern about the Crown Act is from I was out last week lobbying, my first time doing that, not for the faint at heart, is that to me, the Crown Act, the people who were speaking that day, and I want you guys to correct me if you all are watching this post live, but it appears that those people who were speaking for the Crown Act has some anti-chemical rhetoric that hurts hair salons. So, Cheryl, if you could just speak to how that hurts hair salons, and some of the language they were saying was that straightening hair is acculturation, chemicals are bad for the scalp, and chemicals cause cancer, and the chemicals would be hair coloring and relaxers. So that was a common four talking points in every single person who was pro the Crown Act, and that was in the state of Ohio.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think first of all, I think I would probably get a little draconian here, and it will not be personal, but we have got to get a little more aggressive with novices who are representing themselves on this particular subject. The Crown Act says creating a respectful open world for quote unquote something we don't know that we is illogical, called natural hair, because
I think
everyone's
it
hair
says creative
natural
and
hair.
respectful. I'm sorry, creative and respectful open work
World.
spaces. I'm sorry,
No,
workspaces.
it's an open world.
Open world. Oh, okay, okay. In
Okay.
Ohio, they said open workspace, but okay, go ahead.
Okay. Well, the original Crown Act, as it's written, when you go to the Crown Act Coalition's website with Dove and other partners, but if you notice when you go on the website, the partners don't have anything rooted in cosmetology, and they should not even try to approach it. They need to leave it alone, and that's where I would get a little aggressive, being a historian and an heir of this particular industry. I don't like when you're trying to validate something that is also as cultural as braiding, twisting, locking, which is relaxers and coloring and finger waving and permanent waving, is basically the same thing. I don't know why they have to make the point and validate natural hair as it should be statutorily legislated. I don't know why they have to, because the law of the state lands is cosmetology. And so I don't even know why they're using that to make the point. And when I and if and when I get a chance to speak with them, um, it's going to be very aggressive, because they need to clean up their language and set a clearer intention of what, so they can get the help of the barbers and cosmetologists and aid them into doing something if it is socially healthy for the population and their well-being, which we are not opposed to as cosmetologists. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know I did speak up as best I could, though I wish I had Cheryl's, you know, intellect for just that moment, but I did as best I could. When the opportunity permitted, I definitely spoke up. That those are not good talking points. You're right. We should not be pro natural at the expense of what a person chooses to do to their hair. And so, you know, so that's where it is. So we are at our 61st episode as we talk about, you know, the dumbest shit that people say about black hair. Sure, anything we want to wind it down with? Any last comments before we talk about what we're going to talk about next week?
I think that the greatest contributors to every black city, every black neighborhood, every black community in these United States, I think cosmetologists and barber stylists and beauticians, anyone who is involved in personal care, I think that we are probably one of the most dedicated and devoted to our citizens. And I think we uphold well-being first and customer protection. And I think that we're going to get our shit together and we're going to get our shit together at the Afro Hair Summit. So I see you guys there, and thank you guys for participating. All you guys, Sandra, Leslie, Miss Niles, Miss Foster, you guys are freaking awesome.
Yeah, I concur. You guys are definitely our partners, and this is why we have this
Miss
platform.
Sandra, I'm sorry
Yeah.
too.
Oh, yeah, Sandra, we know you down by law. What's up? Down by law. The down by law. Yeah, we do. We need a Cheryl emoji. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'll rock that out. So here we go. Next week, we got the top 10 mistakes that the hairstylists make. So how about us hairstylists flip it over? You guys ready? And let's talk about the top 10 mistakes that the customers make. So we're going to have a good time, and that's going to be coming from myself. If you are a licensed cosmetologist or a braider and you want to share with me some of the top 10 mistakes that you see your customers make, feel free to. That's right. We got to flip. That's right. Flip Mo Squat is dangerous. So dangerous. Yeah, we're going to flip it on over. You can inbox me or you can email me at ladoshaw@yahoo.com, and I will drop some of what you say. The customers, these are you guys' top 10 mistakes that you make when you are a customer of the hair salon. So again, we are building up to the 2023 Afro Hair Summit that's taking place Saturday, July 15th through Monday, July 17th. You can visit Afro Hair Science to get your tickets today. They are starting to move. So let's sell this baby out. And you know what we say when we're always signing out, Miss Sandra, we're always talking about Leslie, stop. I'm sorry. She said, let me email you right now. Okay. So we're talking about here we go. Did you see it?
She can't wait.
She said she can't wait. So yeah, so email me y'all stuff and come on, let's kick the ballistics. Again, we're always talking about a whole lot of peace, for sure, a whole lot of love, most certainly a whole lot of hair. But check it out. Remember now, if you ain't got it, don't want it, can't stand it, can't grow it, hell, you plan on cutting it off, you got a couple of them bald patches or whatever, you know what we say, don't y'all worry about all that stuff, okay? Because all that's beautiful too, and so are you. We'll be next week. Bye, guys.